What is going on, guys? My name is Trevor. Welcome back to the channel. Fear Street Prom Queen hit Netflix this past weekend and is #1 trending on Netflix. And with that, we're ranking all 4 Fear Street movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Comment down below your ranking of all 4 Fear Street movies. Which is your favorite? Which one of these do you love? And they are supposed to be making 2 more Fear Street movies. They are very, very popular over here on Netflix. Are you excited for those movies? Let me know all that down below in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Let's hop in this ranking. And coming in last place is going to be the most recent Fear Street movie, Fear Street Prom Queen. I think the biggest thing holding it back is that it felt really rushed. It's only an hour and a half, and that worked to its advantage because it's a very quick hitter. It's in and out. It doesn't overstay its welcome. There's no time to flesh out these characters, and there's no time to really jump into Laurie Granger's backstory because the whole movie, they're talking about our main character, Laurie Granger's mom, how she killed her dad at prom all these years ago. And they never showed anything about that. They only talked about it throughout the entirety of the movie. Well, there's no weight to that because we're just hearing about it, just like these kids are. And Laurie is getting affected by all these kids bullying her, and the mean girls just bullying her throughout school about it. Like, how are we supposed to feel the weight that Laurie's feeling when we haven't seen this? We just heard about it. I feel like the movie opened up with a scene of what actually happened that prom night back then when that whole rumor got started. I think that would have worked to this movie's advantage. On the positive side, you got to give credit to where credit's due. They have some gnarly kills in this one. They have some casual ones, just getting stabbed or their face slit. There's a couple of beheadings. They have this paper cutter. You remember those old arm paper cutters they had at school? Well, someone gets taken out with that, and that was a gnarly kill. Probably one of the most gnarly kills in Fear Street history. There's some stuff to enjoy. I had such high expectations for this one that I just ended up being a little bit disappointed, but Fear Street Prom Queen comes in last. At number 3 is Fear Street 1666. The biggest problem with this one is the first half is all in 1666, and it's using the main actors and actresses from the other movies in this little trilogy, and they're all using accents, and it kind of takes you out of it. I don't know why they went this route of using these characters or these actors and actresses again. They should have gone a different way because the accents really take you out of it, but they're showing really what went down with this witch hut and the Sarah Fear and the whole mythology of Fear Street, so it does give you quite a bit of backstory. But when you get to part 2 of 1994 and the whole story kind of comes around, that's when it really picks up. If the first half wasn't so, I don't want to say cheesy, but just kind of like a little bit different that took you out of the movie, this one would be higher because the way they end this movie is absolutely fantastic. The way they end this trilogy is great. It's just the first half of it really holds it back. But when you get to part 2, really picks it up a notch. At number 2 is Fear Street Part 1, 1994. When this dropped on Netflix back in 2021, it was a breath of fresh air for horror movies. It felt like Stranger Things met Scream and had its own little vibe in there as well. And the opening sequence at the mall felt like a Star Court, food court, Stranger Things mall. You have characters getting taken out right away, and then you get introduced to the high school 90s vibes, and they just capture that all so well, and they are building towards something, and they have some gnarly kills throughout this movie, but it really feels like they're building towards something. You get behind the character of Dina and her brother and all these kids, and it's something that just feels so fresh and new, and I just loved it. I loved it so much that when it led into the sequels, it all started with this movie, and it had such a fantastic killer, a very terrifying killer, but nonetheless, this movie set up something that ended up being one of, I would say, my favorite trilogies of all time, and I just went back to rewatch this one leading up to Fear Street Prom Queen, and it still holds up. I would say some things might be a little cheesy, but nonetheless, it's one of those movies that you can go back and rewatch almost at any time and have a ton of fun with, and ton of fun of the Shady Side curse and how this whole town is cursed, and they just build this world perfectly, and it just gets you to dive into these characters, dive into what they're selling you. And again, when you get to the kills, and especially towards the end of the movie, and you're leading up to more of the mystery of Sarah Fear and the curse of Shadyside, it just hits right on the head. It's absolutely beautiful. But at number 1 is Fear Street Part 2, 1978. Basically sleepaway camp vibes. This is a summer vibe movie with some fantastic twists and turns in there, which I would also say the most iconic killer in all the Fear Street movies. Sadie Sink is such a lovable character, but all these kids are like at a sleepaway camp and there's a killer on the loose, and it has these twists and turns and these high school romance that you're buying into, and these kids started getting taken out. You're like, this is absolutely absurd, and it's so dark, and they really dive into the lore of what happened here. That's what's so cool, because you get to hear the story told, kind of like the way Titanic Titanic's told when they go find out what exactly happened, but then you dive back into that time period of 1978. Also got to shout out Fear Street Prom Queen for mentioning 1978 because the massacre in summer 1978 was something they mentioned in Fear Street Prom Queen. Kind of go like, oh, nope. There it is. But Fear Street Part 2, 1978, gave me something I wasn't expecting. It killed Sadie Sink. I did not expect that to happen. I thought she was going to be the one who lived. She was the one who's telling everyone about the story. But no. When she went off, I was like, I can't believe they did that to our girl Max, man. But nonetheless, Fear Street Part 2, 1978 is easily, without a doubt, the best Fear Street movie. Let me know your ranking of all 4 Fear Street movies down below in the comment section. What's your favorite and least favorite? Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Thank you guys for watching and for being here. And I'll see you in the next one.